So we've taken our next step in this infinite journey of enlightenment. A series of events have taken place that has brought us to where we are right now. This is the most important time of our lives. It's in this very moment which exists prior to a thought that we have the potential to be. Being exists in this moment, in this time, and knowing, seeing, feeling, and experiencing all that there is right now. Stay tuned as Ron Ash teaches how to locate our special gift, connect with Spirit, and intentionally create our experiences.
Do you have a special gift that you'd like to share with the world? Then consider broadcasting your message on BTRN. The Being Talk Radio Network is local, national, and international broadcasting with powerful programs that enlighten minds and change lives. BTRN hosts are passionate about purpose, motivating listeners to confidently move forward in the direction of their dreams. To host a show on BTRN, call 401-640-GIFT. Become a part of the Being Talk Radio Network today and contribute to positive change tomorrow. We are BTRN, the Being Talk Radio Network.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. The Intuitive Life Coach takes a metaphysical approach to life coaching, identifying root issues, accessing key problems, and formulating a highly effective approach and resolution. Through proven coaching techniques, the Intuitive Life Coach will help you to move confidently in the direction of your dreams. Author, counselor, teacher Ron Ash is the Intuitive Life Coach. Call 424-777-LAWS or connect online at theintuitivelifecoach.me.
Westside Yoga is the premier yoga center, committed to the integration of body, mind, and inner spirit. Whether you choose to participate in a single class for $10 or sign up for 2 weeks of unlimited classes for $35, Westside Yoga will help increase flexibility, alleviate stress, and improve memory and balance. Westside Yoga, 511 Broadway, Providence, Rhode Island. Visit westsideyogari.com or call 401-228-POSE. Westside Yoga, Yogana. Feel great.
True knowledge evokes wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge in practice. Selective knowledge facilitates error. In spirit is truth. Darshini in Spirit will help you find the answers you seek. Darshini sees. Internationally renowned clairvoyant and spiritual guide, Darshini has a refreshingly honest and candid style that contributes greatly to her ability to counsel, heal, and guide. Motivational speaker, author, teacher. Experience Darshini in Spirit at 714-348-9994. Visit darshini-inspirit.com.
Experience the power of being. Join author and intuitive life counselor Ron Ash on an infinite journey of enlightenment. Being explores the various modalities associated with self-help and spirituality. Master divine guidance, connect to source energy, and expand your consciousness. For a complete list of our affiliate stations and showtimes, visit beingwithronash.com.
Welcome to Being with Ron Ash. I'm Ron Ash, your host, and we are the Being Talk Radio Network, live and local, national and international on great stations worldwide. For a complete list of our affiliates and showtimes, visit us online at beingwithronash.com. That's beingwithronash.com. Today you are being with Ron Ash and Darshini in Spirit. Hello, Darshini.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I hope you're well up there. Are you getting severe weather?
I really didn't get too much of that hurricane. The weather has actually been kind of mild, as it is as if the hurricane actually kind of went right around my area. Anyhow, the southern parts of the state near the coastline got hit really hard. But other than that, we fared very well.
Good. Okay. I know there are a lot of people from the New York area, and I had a few people call. Mm-hmm. So I was just very concerned there. I'm sorry. And I know it's total devastation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is there a correlation between the way people have been feeling and these unusual weather patterns?
That's great, because remember we talked a long time ago about energy, and that's how we all lead and we communicate. We're all energy. And yes, I strongly believe we do. It's part of this shift I keep on talking about, and it's all to do with the energy. And people, we talked last time, and it was bad tempers, not even those associated. I just did a few lectures this last weekend, and it confirmed nearly everybody was saying, they're more moody, they're very tight on their tolerance. Not to say there are a load of idiots out there, but in other words, they can't even control their temper sometimes. And these are people who are usually very calm and being proactive with things. It's just that there's a sense of, not fear, but there is a sense of not even impending doom, but there's something there that they can't put their definition on. But it's all to do with something that they know is moving, but they're totally at a loss. And I was trying to explain it to them. I did upload a few more new videos on that one because of that lecture, but it's really to do that we are seeing a lot of massive changes, other than, one after the other, the global climate. And I did predict this, at the end of the year last year.
Yeah, I recall that,
Yeah, and it's just, unfortunately, and of course the tornado's getting worse, and it did come true, unfortunately, the F4s, F5s, tornadoes and water spouts in weird places. I had to review it myself to see if I'd said that, because obviously I don't go there. But it has been quite unfortunately impending, not doom, but the global change. I would say it's a terraformer of the planet. We are, and it's really we kind of kicked it into a higher gear. I really feel that with all the fossil fuels we're pumping into the air and everything else. It obviously everything is cause and reaction, right? So basically, I really feel that that's to do with the weather patterns, the certain ice melts, obviously. And in the book, I kind of told which areas are going to be really affected. But it's really sad to see that the people are, being affected, and some people just don't want to know. And of course, then they're more in panic than anybody else. And I'm sure you know that, right? You've seen that and encountered it.
Actually, many of we're on the cutting edge here. We're right on the pulse of humanity. We have a lot of people that call into the show and talk about their feelings and emotions, and a lot of people have been feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. Some people are saying it's to do with planetary positioning. And other people are just feeling that they have no hope. They just don't know how to deal with this whole thing. But let me back up a bit, because, you talked a little bit about, the effect of our usage of fossil fuels and different things like that as far as environmental impacts that humanity has placed on the planet. And I think one thing that a lot of people don't bring up enough is we are pumping a lot of oil out of the earth, and this is leaving empty spaces.
That's what I was wondering, what's going on, because I hate to say it. I see another huge oil reserve being discovered, or at least I see it. I'm not going to tell you where at the moment it is. I don't want people madly rushing over there, and it'll be a great surprise, quite frankly, where it's going to be located. But you're right there, and you have to understand that everything is balanced, and you're pumping like crazy, the gases, the oils, and not only that, gold or whatever. They're strip mining all kinds of places, and there's no effect. Of course, there's an effect. You're right about the oils, and it has to be that people. And I know there are cars out there that have been probably blocked by the auto industry, but can run on water.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there are many things. I've done research into several different alternative fuel sources, and many times what happens is these big oil companies and the automotive companies actually buy out the patterns,
of course,
and they just sit on them. Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, and it's been, I think in 1960 was the first one, or around about the 60s or late 50s. But that is it, and I've heard all kinds of horrible stories where, there have been horrible accidents, if you know what I mean, because it means money, and money is power. So it's sad to see that we're kind of being held hostage, and I don't want to go adding into the conspiracy theory here, but I'm sure everybody knows about all of this. But
it's becoming more prevalent. I actually caught a film yesterday called Shock and Awe, based on a book that a woman had written called Shock and Awe, and it explained exactly how these governments and economies are being manipulated by the corporations. Once again, another stick on the fire.
Yep, and you don't know, you have no idea how much. I mean, we're only talking about 0.0001% of what's going on.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and that's why on one of the videos on the, the predictions video at the end of the year, I did say, look what you're voting for, really do some studying instead of just saying, okay, I'm going to believe an ad on TV. What does your gut instinct say? What do you really want to see? Not only for yourself, but not even if you have children, but what the future of the planet is. Be conscious of that and conscientious. And that's why this feeling of dread that people are having, and the depression. The depression is part of not only this that's coming, but it's also about their own personal changes, Ron. And this is what I call the chapter change in my book, and that is that we're being far more called to action in far more of a conscious way. There are people who obviously decide to go and decide, money is it, and that's what I'm going to have here.
Yeah, we often get that pull. We often get that pull back to what we know. Myself included. I've wrestled with it many times over the last few years, and how do you recommend that people deal with that? The thing is not to feel guilty about anything like that, Ron. I'm talking about people who I'll rather go and go and exploit people. And that's a clear definition, what is exploitation to what is really, well, who are you? I mean, you go ahead, money is just a tool. And it's not really that it's, if you use it to manipulate and do a power trip, sure, it goes the other way. And it will work against you, even though you may be sitting in millions and we manipulate a lot of media and things like that. I won't mention who I'm talking about, offering, my $5 million. But, I mean, it's just to say I don't care about the politics of here. I'm talking about the individuals who really are fighting with themselves. Oh, I shouldn't make money. And I was even, there was one remark on one of my videos saying, you should do this for free, where you show it, talking about your book when you should be giving predictions for free. How we have to survive, and there's so many people that are being awakened now, Ron. You know this, doing your shows, that they need. Yeah, constantly they're calling in talking about it. They've discovered their gifts. They're very passionate about it, and they want to get going.
And they feel guilt. There's this guilt trip that people are out there, and that's sheer manipulation. And I get really, really angry. And I know, we're meant to be all spiritual, and no, people know me. I get really angry about that. Don't try and manipulate me to give you free information. We have to survive.
I had someone the other day tell me, and all the things that I do for free every day, and really put things. My books are out there for free if you want to read them online at Frito.com. We do this show every day, and we counsel. Somebody actually said, I just can't pay that our hourly charge. What happened to pay it forward? I said, I've been paying it forward, but I also have to pay, my mortgage, my electricity, my feed my children as well.
That's sheer manipulation, Ron, and that
Yeah.
And that's what they do to me. And I said, no, then obviously you don't need this. Go to somebody who will give you what you want, $1 a minute or whatever you want. And you know what? You're not going to get the truth. You're going to get something. That's another beef I have, that they are people who are manipulating. Now that, if you are, you haven't really got a gift if you're just kind of desperate and you're trying to tell people anything, and you don't, you're ruining somebody's life. That's why it's so important.
It's a huge responsibility.
Oh my God, they don't know. And they have no idea, but we do have to survive. This is what we are. Those who are really considering a more holistic, not living, but holistic earning life, their actual center for earning a living, don't feel guilty about it, but you have to have respect. There's respect in everything. And there are people who get readings and don't pay, and that's another deal. But that's their karma, whatever. But there has to be respect. But the thing is, you have to survive, and it's not even survivability. And don't feel guilty about making the millions, Ron. It's nothing to do with that. It's
that's very important too, because we need to change the way we think about money, and that is crucial. And so many people think, that money is bad. People that are rich must have done something seedy to be put into that position. But on the other side of the coin, I want to bring this up, and I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but we went through a lot of stuff with the banking crisis in 2008, and many people had lost their fortunes and livelihoods and whatnot. But interesting fact is, pre-2008, there were only 50 billionaires in the world. And to qualify for that 50 billion, you can't just have a billion, you have to have 1.5 billion plus. So there were 50. After 2008, there were 750 billionaires in the world. This is a huge transfer of wealth.
But do you know why?
Fear.
How?
Stockpiling.
Well, not only stockpiling, that is where the opportunities, and I used to play with the stocks too, and when it is down, they buy low, they just wait, just like hunters, like a lion in wait or something. They wait, and they buy it low when the economy is really bad, and guess what's going to happen? Because in the last 5 to 8 years, it's been very bad and very low. They've been buying, and then, of course, it goes up. And, I hate to say it, even though this horrible thing happened, there's going to be far more, it's actually going to help the economy. And it has that kind of, I wouldn't say adverse reaction, but it's out of misery that we do, like World War II. We made more money, World War I, and that's how it is. It's just like it's the ebb and flow of energy on that, on a monetary aspect. But yes, I'm not surprised, and there will be far more millionaires, but it's not to make money out of misery, but it's how you actually see, not even opportunity. There are people, a good percentage, who are just waiting to come in and do this and make money. So be careful how you do it, but you can do it on a very humanistic level too.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing the investment. I'm seeing this huge transfer of wealth, but I'm still seeing people homeless and dying.
Yes, you've got all the duality on it. And I hate to say it, that is where we have to stop and be conscious about it, where the people who have it have to be a redistribution, not to say that they, in other words, donate, and there doesn't need to be poverty anywhere in the world. But until we achieve that, and remember I talked about a long time ago the pendulum effect, and I've explained it in the book, and that's what we're in. We're still coming back from an extreme pendulum effect where things are going to get totally ridiculous, i.e. reality shows and these storms and people making outrageous money. In the real estate here in California, they were. I know brokers who were making $50,000 a week.
Wow. Yeah.
And on people, and you know what? They're broke now. Mm-hmm. So if you don't do it the right way and a conscientious way, it's not going to come about. But yes, we do need to look after the homeless. We can't just ignore that fact. Mm-hmm. The children, even the level of education too. I mean, some of those children going starving in most of the day because they don't have food. Mm-hmm. You know, we have to be far more conscious. And I'm sorry to get on my bandwagon here, but your show is a good forum for letting people know, be aware of things. Don't be so insular. Mm-hmm. That there are homeless that are I don't know how they're surviving, barely surviving, especially with these storms. I hate to say the death rate's going to go up because of the snowstorms, and we are going to see far more snow. I mean, talking about blizzards, around about mid-December, and these are the northern states in the United States and Canada. So it's just really sad that people don't realize how much we are co-contributing to a certain extent. Not to feel guilty. Guilt does not do anything. We talked about this quite a few shows ago. You need to be conscious about your responsibility and what you can do. And then, the kids doing it. Kids are helping out. And trying to be more conscientious, and these are really enlightened children. So anyway, hopefully that will help a few people, but don't feel guilty about actually earning money. That's ridiculous.
Do you think there'll be a change in this economic structure away from more of a commercial and materialistic society geared more towards... No?
Long time. Because we remember the pendulums achieved. We went in, run about 200 years, we've achieved so much, right? So incredible. But now it's going to take a long time also to achieve a kind of balance. And I hate to say, there are going to be some horrible things that are going to show us that we can't operate this way, that it's all about money and the huge corporations manipulating us.
There's an interesting film available now online for free. If you go to choicepointmovie.com, you can watch it. Jack Canfield, Greg Braden, Louise Hay, they all took part of it. It's the work of Harry Massey and David Hamilton. I actually had David on a few shows back if you want to check in the archives. But fascinating. They talk about choice point, and as a society, as humanity, we are at a choice point right now where we can go pretty much either way. A door has opened. So it's really up to us as a whole to kind of work and move in that direction. All right, we're going to have to take a quick break. We'll be back with some free readings and media mystic services with Darshini in Spirit when we return. Hold tight in the switchboard. We'll get to your call soon.
True knowledge evokes wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge in practice. Selective knowledge facilitates error. In spirit is truth. Darshini in Spirit will help you find the answers you seek. Darshini sees. Internationally renowned clairvoyant and spiritual guide Darshini has a refreshingly honest and candid style that contributes greatly to her ability to counsel, heal, and guide. Motivational speaker, author, teacher. Experience Darshini in Spirit at 714-348-9994. Visit darshini-inspirit.com.
Do you have a special gift that you'd like to share with the world? Then consider broadcasting your message on BTRN. The Bean Talk Radio Network is local, national, and international broadcasting with powerful programs that enlighten minds and change lives. BTRN hosts are passionate about purpose, motivating listeners to confidently move forward in the direction of their dreams. To host a show on BTRN, call 401-640-GIFT. Become a part of the Bean Talk Radio Network today and contribute to positive change tomorrow. We are BTRN, the Bean Talk Radio Network.
Mark Analik serves as a full channel, a perpetual conduit linking earthbound souls with those residing in spirit. Learn the significance of life lessons while revealing your life's purpose and step into your magnificence through the abilities of Mark Analik. Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern on the Being Talk Radio Network. Realize your highest truth through the assistance of Mark Analik. 954-647-0914. markanalik@gmail.com.
Rhode Island Natural Awakenings magazine is the perfect resource for those seeking a healthy, natural lifestyle. In every free monthly publication, you'll find practical, cutting-edge information on natural health, nutrition, personal growth, green living, creative expression, and more. Find Natural Awakenings wherever free magazines are found. Read it online at rinaturalawakenings.com or call 401-709-2473. Feel good, live simply, laugh more. Rhode Island Natural Awakenings magazine.
Psychic medium Catherine Glass has a delightfully pleasing, empathetic approach that significantly contributes to her ability to advise, heal, and guide. Allow Catherine Glass to help you resolve life's issues through spirit communication, psychic intuitive readings, or reconnective healing. Be inspired by Catherine Glass Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Being Talk Radio Network. Counselor, healer, teacher, Catherine Glass. Psychic medium, 978-369-9228 or catherineglass.com.
Are you interested in promoting yourself, your business, or your platform? If so, you should contact RMA Associates for the most cost-effective ways to promote what you do. RMA has over 25 years of experience helping their clients grow while meeting the challenges of an ever-changing market. Email RMA today at rma.associates@yahoo.com for more information. Again, that's rma.associates@yahoo.com. Westside Yoga is the premier yoga center, committed to the integration of body, mind, and inner spirit. Whether you choose to participate in a single class for $10 or sign up for 2 weeks of unlimited classes for $35, Westside Yoga will help increase flexibility, alleviate stress, and improve memory and balance. Westside Yoga, 511 Broadway, Providence, Rhode Island. Visit westsideyogari.com or call 401-228-POSE. Westside Yoga, Yogana. Feel great.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. The Intuitive Life Coach takes a metaphysical approach to life coaching, identifying root issues, accessing key problems, and formulating a highly effective approach and resolution. Through proven coaching techniques, the Intuitive Life Coach will help you to move confidently in the direction of your dreams. Author, counselor, teacher Ron Ash is the Intuitive Life Coach. Call 424-777-LAWS or connect online at theintuitivelifecoach.me.
Bridge the gap between Earth and the spiritual plane of existence. Join author and psychic medium Joseph Labruto III on a multi-dimensional journey of transformation every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Being with Ron Ash. Communicate with a deceased loved one, the Ascended Masters, spirit guides, angels, and other spiritual beings. Or ask Joseph about your career, relationship, or life path. There is more to life than what we know. Find the answers at www.psychicmediumjoseph.com.
Experience the power of being. Join author and intuitive life counselor Ron Ash on an infinite journey of enlightenment. Being explores the various modalities associated with self-help and spirituality. Master divine guidance, connect to source energy, and expand your consciousness. For a complete list of our affiliate stations and showtimes, visit beingwithronash.com.
Welcome back. That's Stacey Davidson and her title, Everything Is About You, from her album Narrow Gate, available everywhere great music is sold. You can connect with Stacey and all of our guests, past, present, and future, at beingwithronash.com. That's beingwithronash.com. Stay up to date with Darshini's events at darshini-info.com. darshiniinspirit.com. And to schedule a private session, simply call her directly at 714-348-9994. Again, that's 714-348-9994. You are being with Ron Ash and Darshini in Spirit, and we are offering free sample readings today at 424-757-1425. That is our own number, so once again, 424-757-1425. We have Linda from Florida joining us. Hello, Linda.
Hi. Hi, Darshini and Ron. Thanks so much for taking my call.
You are very welcome.
I was wondering if you are able to see if my daughter will be getting into law school.
I know that she's your daughter's pretty intense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, and very, how can I say this? Driven is a good word for her.
Yes.
But sometimes she gets too close to the tree to see the forest. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, definitely.
It's as if she's always been, especially in the last 8 months, far too, how can I say this, intensely wanting something. I mean, obviously to get into law school, but yes, I do see her getting in, but I feel that she's also learning a lot of lessons in the last 3 months. Has she been going through a lot of problems, either health or mental kind of thing, anguish?
Yes, definitely. Over her father, she is more or less, a caretaker for him, or an enabler for him. And so there's this pull between, her life, moving on with her life and, taking care of her father, who does not need her help. But because of his own problems, she's taken on that role.
Well, that's only a portion of it, and I hate to say it, she has to learn that she can't be there for him, otherwise she's going to head for another straight down. And I think you're seeing that anyway. But she has to learn this before she even gets into that field of thinking, doing it. She wants to help people, and, kudos for her. But the thing is, she has to help herself first, because she's going to literally, she is so trying to catch all those apples, oranges, bananas in the air that she's trying to keep, going, that she's forgotten about herself. She worries about you, anybody of her friends. She's a totally loyal friend, but I hate to say it, she will not get to law school or anywhere else in her life until she learns this lesson. And what I'm seeing is in the last week and a half, things have got worse for her. And
she just got her test scores back again. She has an excellent GPA, but the admission tests, she has a real hard time with test taking, but she's a very, very smart girl. But a lot rests on these tests. She's going to be going to visit a law school this next week and visit with the dean and try to, promote herself so that she could get in. Does that look like a favorable?
Yes. Now, I hope she's not going to be listening to this immediately.
No, she won't.
Good. Because, quite frankly, I don't think she'll get to that one. It's about the second or third one that she'll be interviewing you with. It's not a highly prestigious one, but after she actually gets in there, gets admitted, then she can move to a better one later, like after the first year, I see. But she really has to learn this lesson. And I have to say it, a lot of people don't listen to, it's like the old adage, familiarity breeds contempt, and that's what happens. And
she doesn't listen to me at all.
No, and she'll listen to a stranger like myself or somebody else, but she won't listen to anybody else. And that's why she doesn't want to hear the truth. And, oh, Mom, you just care about me for that reason. But until she listens to that, it'll only get worse. And this is one I keep calling in the book, squeezing the head. That's what they're doing to her until she learns this lesson. Otherwise, she won't even make it through the first semester. I hate to say it. So she has to learn to back off from her father. He can not well afford, but he can get home help. She has to let go of the control factor in her life.
Right, it's a control. So the with the law school, though, you do see her eventually being able to do that.
No, it all depends on what she's going to do in the next 6 months, how she reacts to the situation.
Well, that's why we thought if it was a school outside of the home, because we live in a town where there's already a law school, but I had thought, well, if she goes somewhere else, then it's automatically that she won't be so tied to him. And it's an alcohol problem. He's not disabled in any way.
That's what I was just about to say. But, I didn't want to be too personal here.
And that's fine.
Yeah, but anyway, he has to start learning how selfish he is. And remember, it's not only her lesson, your lesson, his lesson big time.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So hopefully that will help you.
Thank you so very much, and I appreciate that you took my call. Thank you.
Okay, our pleasure.
All right, thanks for listening, Linda.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Patty. She's calling us from Lake Tahoe, California. Hello, Patty. You're on Being with Ron Ash and Darshini in Spirit.
Oh, hi. Hello. Well, boy, I'm so excited. I am a psychic medium, so I just got this interesting call, and I've never done someone helping them finding a missing person. So I thought, my guide said, okay, you've got to put this out and ask everybody who can see what their feelings are about, the feelings about this missing woman here, and see if we can all come together and find some common ground or common threads that will lead us to her. And I just wanted to see if maybe you could feel it through this and see if you see something. I'll just give you a little information. She went missing in August. She was driving from San Diego to Santa Cruz. She's 70 years old, and her name is Darlene. And I was just wondering if you could see if you see anything around it.
I'm kind of caught here because, quite frankly, we're not allowed to give certain bits of information. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And I really feel that they should. I see it round about just on the corner of L.A. Something happened.
Yeah.
Just outside L.A.
Okay. And I'm not going to take it because I know that there's this thread that's leading us to her, and I keep getting it, and everybody's getting the same kind of feeling and hits on the area. So I just wanted to, it's like, it feels like we're seeing. When I see it, I see almost like. I do see a lot of things happening to her. I get that there was foul play. I get that, and everybody's feeling that. So I just wish we could.
I'm not going to get into more detail because that's not what this show is about. I'm sorry. I don't know if Ron agrees with me there, but there is something that they need to do further investigation themselves on, okay?
All right, let's go to Mary Lou. Hello, Mary Lou.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, Mary Lou.
I wasn't expecting that. Yay!
Yeah.
Well, what can we do for you?
I would love a message from Spirit.
Okay. You, in the last 10 months, have been going through some weird changes and big changes. Would you say that?
Yeah.
But you don't know if they are changes because you overthink things. Would you say that?
Yes.
And you really have a great heart, and they really appreciate that. But you forget about yourself sometimes. You're so busy trying to help other people. True?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the message here is that you really need to rethink. In a way, I hate to say this, and if you don't know what I am, I'm brutally honest. So you want me to go on?
Yeah. I need to hear this.
Okay.
Don't hold back. Give it to her.
Brace yourself. No, it's not that bad. But seriously, that you need to realize that there are a lot of changes. There are certain changes in your life that you've been avoiding deliberately. Putting your, even though it's right in front of you, you look right, you look left, you look up, you look down, you don't look straight on. And you need to look into those things. I would strongly recommend that you get a journal, and especially in the last 10 months, but really it could be over a period of 1.5 years, that you have gone through a lot of some challenging, but some really forceful situations you need to look at and review. With that, you'll have such a growth within you that you'll be nearly, except for obviously the physicality, you'll be pretty much changed by next August. It's that huge in your life. If you're ready to take up, have the strength of character, and which I believe you do, to look in the mirror and say, okay, well, this is what I need to change. Maybe I should be out, actually get out there and be a bit more interactive. It's not that you have been living in fear, that you have been very trepidatious about certain things in your life. Would you say that's all true?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not, cruel, but it's just hard for you to go ahead and face those things. And just by addressing each one, and you don't need to go all schizo and crazy about it. Just see what you may be missing the actual message on. Okay?
Can you be more specific of what I'm missing, because I'm not getting? That's the part I'm not getting.
Well, you are. You're avoiding it, and I'm not going to be specific because it's not our journey; it's your journey. In that if we tell you everything, you're not going to be discovering anything. Do you understand? And I know it's frustrating. I realize that. But people who have had readings with me get it in the end. But I'm telling you, go and do a journal, and you'll find what's missing. In other words, the shadow message here that you've really deliberately pushed to the back of the corner. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, many of us do that. I have some very close friends that I hold back. I refuse to bring it forward. I don't know if I'm doing it to protect our relationship or I'm doing it because I'm being stopped. So either way, some things we have to discover for ourselves. It's all part of the experience, and that's why we're here.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. The Intuitive Life Coach takes a metaphysical approach to life coaching, identifying root issues, accessing key problems, and formulating a highly effective approach and resolution. Through proven coaching techniques, the Intuitive Life Coach will help you to move confidently in the direction of your dreams. Author, counselor, teacher Ron Ash is the Intuitive Life Coach. Call 424-777-LAWS or connect online at theintuitivelifecoach.me.
Westside Yoga is the premier yoga center, committed to the integration of body, mind, and inner spirit. Whether you choose to participate in a single class for $10 or sign up for 2 weeks of unlimited classes for $35, Westside Yoga will help increase flexibility, alleviate stress, and improve memory and balance. Westside Yoga, 511 Broadway, Providence, Rhode Island. Visit westsideyogari.com or call 401-228-POSE. Westside Yoga, Yogana. Feel great.
True knowledge evokes wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge in practice. Selective knowledge facilitates error. In spirit is truth. Darshini in Spirit will help you find the answers you seek. Darshini sees. Internationally renowned clairvoyant and spiritual guide Darshini has a refreshingly honest and candid style that contributes greatly to her ability to counsel, heal, and guide. Motivational speaker, author, teacher. Experience Darshini in Spirit at 714-348-9994. Visit darshini-inspirit.com.
Do you have a special gift that you'd like to share with the world? Then consider broadcasting your message on BTRN. The Being Talk Radio Network is local, national, and international broadcasting with powerful programs that enlighten minds and change lives. BTRN hosts are passionate about purpose, motivating listeners to confidently move forward in the direction of their dreams. To host a show on BTRN, call 401-640-GIFT. Become a part of the Being Talk Radio Network today and contribute to positive change tomorrow. We are BTRN, the Being Talk Radio Network.
Reach out and communicate with your loved ones on earth and in spirit via Diane Gian Lorenzo. Join Diane Gian Lorenzo, Spirit Communicator for Humans and Animals, Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Being Talk Radio Network. Accurate, therapeutic, healing. Call Diane Gian Lorenzo, Pet Psychic, at 386-308-1356 or visit DianeGianLorenzo.com. Rhode Island Natural Awakenings magazine is the perfect resource for those seeking a healthy, natural lifestyle. In every free monthly publication, you'll find practical, cutting-edge information on natural health, nutrition, personal growth, green living, creative expression, and more. Find Natural Awakenings wherever free magazines are found. Read it online at rinaturalawakenings.com or call 401-709-2473. Feel good, live simply, laugh more. Rhode Island Natural Awakenings magazine.
Capture the essence of the moment. Discover the possibilities for your future. The Tarot Life Coach uses an ancient form of counseling known as the Tarot to help you find the answers to life's many questions from an intuitive, spiritual perspective. Join psychic medium Tanya Melendez for the Tarot Life Coach, Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Being Talk Radio Network. Romance, career, finance. Find the answers at www.tarotlifecoach.com.
Experience the power of being. Join author and intuitive life counselor Ron Ash on an infinite journey of enlightenment. Being explores the various modalities associated with self-help and spirituality. Master divine guidance. Connect to source energy and expand your consciousness. For a complete list of our affiliate stations and showtimes, visit beingwithronash.com.
Welcome back. That's Eric Peterson and his title, Rainbow. You can connect with Eric and all of our guests, past, present, and future, at beingwithronash.com. That's beingwithronash.com. You are Being with Ron Ash and Darshini in spirit, and we're taking your calls at 424-757-1425. Again, that's 424-757-1425. We have Marnie joining us from Massachusetts. What part of Massachusetts, Marnie?
Hi, how are you?
Excellent.
Good. I just don't want to be limited in asking a question, but I do have a lot of confusion around romance.
All right.
Okay. Hi. Okay. But you say your confusion about romance. I don't see that there's anybody around you at the moment. Is that true?
Well, I'm kind of putting everybody at a distance, which I have been for a long time.
Okay.
But there is somebody in particular I'm actually curious about.
Okay, but the thing is, if you have that mentality, you have to know that everything, again, we discussed it earlier, is energy. And even though you're interested, you're doing this you're doing the Dr. Dolittle Lama push me, pull you. You know, in other words, you want it, you don't want it, and you're going back and forth. And you really, that's why another confusion is you have to decide. I know that you don't want to get hurt, and in a way, sometimes you're a bit, you don't want to get into the relationship because you like there are certain things in your life that you like doing your own way. Is that true?
Very true.
Okay, so because of that, you have to understand that you have to not only let it go, but you need to move beyond what your old, your old tape is saying to you. You can do so much more but you have to be open to other possibilities. I know that you're interested in this one person, but quite frankly, you've already got a huge black hole there that you've co-created, and it's kind of hard to get through that. It's like a weird, it's kind of like a dimensional thing. It sounds weird, like a black hole, but you need
almost
to
like a
realize
vortex, right?
Yes, it's like a vortex, but the thing is you have to understand you have to do the changes within yourself before you can even think of inviting anybody into your sphere of influence or noticing. And, you know, you love, you're kind of a bit of a control freak. Would you say that? You're a controller?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So therefore, this person isn't, really kind of gets put off by controllers, to be honest and frank. And you need to understand that you can have everything, but obviously with certain attitudes. But with you, it's kind of all the way or the highway. And,
right.
You know, you've got into this vacuum, is a good word for you. And you can't be that insular, quite frankly. If you want a relationship, a companionship, whatever, friendship even goes into that. You have to realize that this thing is happening to sharpen your awareness that you need to move through things and not be so kind of sometimes judgmental, I have to be honest here. And otherwise you're going to be more alone than you thought you would ever be. And if you change, and I am seeing, hopefully you will be, by February you'll see even more friends, true friends coming through and being supportive, where you're enjoying life a bit more. And you have been very isolated, haven't you, in the last 5 months?
Oh, yeah. Well, beyond 5 months, yes.
Yeah, but the last 5 months you've really been feeling it, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is why it's a lesson for you. Either do this or you don't do it, in a way of then you've co-created your own situation. And not that they're not going to feel sorry for you, but, you know, we're not here to be, oh, you poor thing. It's for you to grow with, right, Spirit? So please go ahead and rethink things and get a notebook again and see how you can change. There is an exercise on my YouTube or my website called The Kicker, and you'll see how other people see you. And it may not be the best thing for you in the way of it'll show you the truth. And sometimes people don't want to see the truth, and that kicker exercise is very, very revealing about who you are and where you are now. So best of luck, but you need to really rethink things if you want to expand your world a bit more on relationships especially, okay?
Is that K with a kicker with a K or a T with a ticker?
No, it's
K?
not K. K with a kicker.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call, Marnie. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
All right. Larcy from California. Hello, Larcy.
Hi, Larcy.
It's Lacey, not Larcy.
All right, Lacey.
What's your question, Lacey?
Yeah, Lacey.
My question is, I'm going to college online, but I really am interested in going to college in New Zealand, and I've been looking at some colleges, and I was wondering if it's a yes or if it's a no. So I was just interested to see what the answer was.
In which college you're looking for? I'm sorry, you're the phone's not that clear. The call's not clear. What college are you looking at?
I'm not looking at a specific college. I'm looking at a college in New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Yes. So far I've applied to ATU, and I'm still looking for colleges that are going in for the degree I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see that your application needs to be really a bit more either beefed up or changed, all right? it seems interests are big in these universities, but I don't see you going immediately to New Zealand. You really have to rethink your application. It's, no offense, but a bit weak, and you need to really look at more of like not only goals, but what you do. They're looking for people who can contribute to their university. Do you understand activities and stuff?
Mhm.
And really look at that. But if you persevere there, I have to be honest, I don't see you really going to New Zealand. So there are other things there, but you have to really look for it. Okay?
Mhm.
Okay, best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for the call. Okay, let's go to, who do we got? Danielle from California. What part of California are you calling from, Danielle?
Hi, guys. I'm calling from... Hello?
Yep.
Yes, we're listening.
Hi. I'm calling from Canoga Park today. How are you guys?
Excellent.
Hi.
Canoga.
What's your question?
Hi, yes. I'd like to know what information or guidance I can get, or what messages you see with regard to getting my spiritual business off the ground and running and successful to be able to help people.
Okay. All right. I know that you've been playing with this business, or the idea of it, for about 2 years. Would you say that?
No, actually, this has just come into fruition. Starting the summer of this year, I had a spiritual awakening and have gone through this whirlwind.
Okay. What have you been playing with for about 2 years? They keep coming back with 2 years.
Oh, well, I'm disabled, so I haven't really been doing too much, just being an at-home mom and housewife.
There's something I really want you to, they keep on going saying, look at the 2 years, look at the 2 years, what you've been playing around with in your head. Nothing on paper, but just really looking at, I want something to support myself with. But I know you've got the spiritual business, but it's kind of tied that you can tie it into it. But you really need to think a bit more on this spiritual business, because I keep on seeing this other one that for 2 years that you've been toying with and playing with, maybe with a friend you've been talking with. But I do want you to think about it. A lot of people don't, when they receive a reading, they're kind of trying to remember things and they can't immediately. So really take time, and you'll see that there is a great business there. As for the spiritual business, you haven't really got it firmed up that I see. You need a bit more work on it. Is that true?
Yes, it is. I'm just running different thoughts into my head and trying to listen to spirit, and still finding out what giftings I have to be able to incorporate everything into it.
Yeah, don't get too massive. What I'm seeing is I think you get, it's like adding too much flour to the dough. It'll never rise. So be careful. Don't think, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. Start with something small that you've got confidence in and that you are truth. And we talked about this, Ron and I, earlier, that you have to be careful because you're giving people advice and it has to be accurate. So make sure that you know you're doing something that is true, that not only to yourself, but you can change and harm lives. And I don't want to be kind of getting scared here, but you've got a lot of talents, but you have to make sure that it won't backfire on you, okay? And worst of all, backfire on your clients.
Right.
So
well, it's the Reiki healing and crystal healing that I do. That's the business, is to do the Reiki healing and crystal healing and have a place where people can come to purchase the items for that in meditation so that they can do it themselves.
Yeah, and classes too you can teach as well.
Okay.
So, to really, instead of just letting it swill around in your head, I would strongly suggest that you start putting it down on paper and seeing what the challenges are, other than capacity. And quite frankly, I don't really advocate anybody doing it from their home. because if they can, because there's a certain amount of privacy, at least I'm very, very private, and you want to, this is your home, and especially if you've got children and things, so just look at that, okay? Best of luck.
All right. Thanks for the calls. We appreciate your listenership. That's all the time we have for today. If you'd like to schedule a private session with Darshini, you can do so via 714-348-9994 and keep up with her recent events online at darshini-inspirit.com. And as always, you can learn about all of our guests, past, present, and future at beingwithronash.com.
Experience the power of being. Join author and intuitive life counselor Ron Ash on an infinite journey of enlightenment. Being explores the various modalities associated with self-help and spirituality. Master divine guidance. Connect to source energy and expand your consciousness. For a complete list of our affiliate stations and showtimes, visit beingwithronash.com.
True knowledge evokes wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge in practice. Selective knowledge facilitates error. In spirit is truth. Darshini in Spirit will help you find the answers you seek. Darshini sees. Internationally renowned clairvoyant and spiritual guide Darshini has a refreshingly honest and candid style that contributes greatly to her ability to counsel, heal, and guide. Motivational speaker, author, teacher. Experience Darshini in Spirit at 714-348-9994. Visit darshini-inspirit.com.
Learn how to connect with spirit and create the life of your dreams. Purchase the complete Ron Ash collection and save 45% now. Get the Apostles' Recipe for Happiness, Breaking Through, Being, and the Secret of Divine Intervention today for only $30. That's $25 off the retail price. Make your life-expanding purchase today at beingwithronash.wordpress.com. Again, that's beingwithronash.wordpress.com.
Get pain relief now. Dr. Amy Westrick understands what you're going through. Nothing matters more than getting out of pain. Spinal adjustments, physiotherapy, and massage therapy are all treatments available at Eastside Chiropractic Center, Incorporated. Specialized care, provider recommended, soothing results. Eastside Chiropractic Center, Incorporated, 511 Broadway, Providence, Rhode Island. Call 401-453-BACK or visit Dr. Amy Westrick online at drwestrick.com.
Are you interested in promoting yourself, your business, or your platform? If so, you should contact RMA Associates for the most cost-effective ways to promote what you do. RMA has over 25 years of experience helping their clients grow while meeting the challenges of an ever-changing market. Email RMA today at rma.associates@yahoo.com for more information. Again, that's rma.associates@yahoo.com.
Come to Sense of Healing Massage, where you'll be treated as a treasured guest, offered a quiet, peaceful space, a place of restoration, a place to rediscover health and well-being. Owner Joanne Morrissey is a licensed massage therapist who's passionate about her chosen profession and has a genuine love for healing. Her intuitive nature allows her to locate the root of the issue and to formulate a successful solution through her vast repertoire of massage therapies. Learn more or schedule your appointment at www.senseofhealing.com.
we've taken our next step in this infinite journey of enlightenment. A series of events have taken place that has brought us to where we are right now. This is the most important time of our lives. It's in this very moment which exists prior to a thought that we have the potential to be. Being exists in this moment, in this time, and knowing, seeing, feeling, and experiencing all that there is right now. Stay tuned as Ron Ash teaches how to locate our special gift, connect with Spirit, and intentionally create our experiences.
Do you have a special gift that you'd like to share with the world? Then consider broadcasting your message on BTRN. The Being Talk Radio Network is local, national, and international broadcasting with powerful programs that enlighten minds and change lives. BTRN hosts are passionate about purpose, motivating listeners to confidently move forward in the direction of their dreams. To host a show on BTRN, call 401-640-GIFT. Become a part of the Being Talk Radio Network today and contribute to positive change tomorrow. We are BTRN, the Being Talk Radio Network.
Experience the power of being. Join author and intuitive life counselor Ron Ash on an infinite journey of enlightenment. Being explores the various modalities associated with self-help and spirituality. Master divine guidance. Connect to source energy and expand your consciousness. For a complete list of our affiliate stations and showtimes, visit beingwithronash.com.
Hello and welcome to Being with Ron Ash. We are live and local, national and international, on great stations worldwide. For a complete list of our affiliates and showtimes, please visit us online at beingwithronash.com. That's beingwithronash.com. Today you are Being with Ron Ash and Dr. Raj, author of the new book, The Soul of Wellness, 12 Holistic Principles for Achieving a Healthy Body, Mind, Heart, and Spirit. Welcome, Dr. Raj.
Thank you. Thank you. It is my pleasure to be here.
It's very great to have you on. What an incredible book, too. You really have a fantastic outline here, and it really encompasses all things, as it should. So how did you first come to write this book, The Soul of Wellness?
You know, I wrote this book both as a doctor and as a patient. You know, like I can talk from both sides. That's why this is especially unique. What I found out that wellness is not just absence of disease. It's not just at the level of physical wellness, but it's also at the level of the mind, heart, which is social, and most importantly, spiritual. Spiritual wellness is the foundation of total wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what my basic emphasis is. And with spiritual, I mean to be connected with something higher than your own small ego. For me, it is divine. For some people it is God, for some people it is nature, for some people it is human causes like, you know, fighting against child pornography, something which is beyond immediate needs.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like to promote a concept which is known as seva, and seva is service with gratitude without non-judgmental service to everybody you meet on the road. Give a smile. If you're a doctor, be happy that a patient has come to your room and be of service to them, him or her. Mm-hmm. That's how I came about.
Yeah. I've been lucky enough to be blessed with some fantastic physicians over the last couple of decades. Actually, my initial doctor was Dr. Michael Fine, who really takes a holistic approach to healthcare. And he is actually, I believe, the head of the Department of Health in the state of Rhode Island. Now, it's kind of interesting how he got started because he really took that time to talk to the patients and learn about what was going on in their lives instead of just coming out and just prescribing some medication for them, and also to bring in nutritionists before putting someone on a cholesterol medication. Really look at what people eat as well, because, it is exactly what you said. It's all encompassing, mind, body, and spirit as well. What are the four dimensions of wellness, and which one is often not considered, and why?
Like the four dimensions I just mentioned are physical, which is goes to with the physical health. That is very important too, to proper nutrition, proper exercise, and proper stress control. Then comes the mental, the proper what sensory input you take in and how you digest the sensory input. It's not just the food, but the emotions, the TV, the computer inputs are equally important, what we take in and how we digest them. Then social. Social I have seen in my own practice, and there have been a lot of studies at Duke University, at Harvard, like people who care for other people, they heal much faster themselves. Like they took about 10 patients in two groups. They all had heart surgery, and one of the group was going to go and talk to the people who were going to have heart surgery to give them advice and everything. Other people who were not going to do anything. And the people who were showing care, sympathy, empathy, healed much faster and went home much faster. So this has been proven by medical science that helping others I help myself, not just at the level of the spirit. Because your chemicals change in the body. If you're helping somebody, one produces more growth hormone, more prolactin, and the stress hormones goes down.
So exercise, and even now it's becoming increasingly more popular, breath work, which I've heard changes things on the cellular level.
Oh, it does. Breath work is, respiration is one of the only autonomic or the system which is usually functioning on its own, which we can control also. Like we cannot change our heart rate, we cannot change our pressure. I want my heart rate go faster or slower. Of course you can if you do exercise, but you can't will it. By respirations you can slow down if you want to, increase if you want to. It is called the window to the unconscious mind, a window to the soul. Breath work. Like I in my own life do this breath work and yoga every day.
I find it fascinating, and I've only had my new physician for about a year now, since my regular physician has taken the job in the health department for the state of Rhode Island. But she prescribed faith to me on my last visit, which was on Monday. She really knows very little about what I do career-wise, or that I've written books, or that I help people on a daily basis here on the radio. But she prescribed that faith.
That is wonderful. That's what I need to talk to her too, because that's what my whole purpose or my dharma is, to promote faith, to promote spiritual wellness. That's wonderful. People are coming around. Doctors are realizing, it's not just, like we are just a mechanistic chemicals in action, our emotions, but we are something beyond our physical bodies. And faith is wonderful.
It's all interconnected. Knowing that higher power exists in many organizations to help people with addictions of many kind. Also, same thing. They one of the first steps is acknowledging that there is a higher power, and as we learn to use that energy and work with that energy, we live a healthy and happy life.
Yeah, like I rarely talk about it, but I myself got addicted to the pain medicines, and I use the higher power, my connection with the divine, to overcome that addiction. And you will be surprised to know nowadays, prescription narcotic or prescription drug addiction is a bigger problem than illegal drugs.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they get into the society and into the economy through ways that people would not suspect. And many times it is the mom down the street who has a prescription and begins to sell that prescription to come up with extra money to pay her bills. You know, or elderly who have these prescriptions, and you know, maybe they've been told by other people you can make extra money if you just tell the doctor, you know, give me the prescription, and maybe they take some other alternative ways of dealing with the stresses and pains of everyday life. And everybody is experiencing a great deal of stress, and many times that shows up in our lives as pain, as depression.
Oh yeah, 30% of the Western population is borderline depressed. You know, that's why Prozac or these antidepressants is a multi-billion-billion-dollar business. And why it is all there? Because there's a lack of fulfillment. We're looking for joy for something outside, be it a chemical, be it a bigger house, be it a sports car. And I've been through that. But when I started my journey inwards, I found the joy and anything I wanted to heal myself all within me.
So that's really the extreme materialism you're talking about in your book, the things that put the strange holds on countless people, careers, relationships. We tend to be locked into positions that we detest, and we are forced to go there every day because we have created this self-imposed slavery, really, because we've become addicted to this materialism.
Yeah, you know, like you'll be surprised. I built a very big house which I could not afford, but to keep up with my neighbors and my friends, and built 11,000 square foot house, and I did not know whether the house owned me or I owned the house.
And that's what happens.
Yep, I was working for the house, but now I sold my house, moved to a smaller house, I'm much happier. And literally and figuratively, my life went from Hummer to hybrid. I used to drive a Hummer and a sports car. Now I drive a Toyota Camry hybrid, and I'm much more happier that I'm taking care of the environment too. So every action has to be spiritual. You know, not just praying for 15 minutes a day and say, "Oh, I've done my spirit work."
And the powers to be really cater to that materialist idea. It's everywhere around us. We have to have this. You know, if you want to appear successful or be successful, you have to drive this type of vehicle. You have to live in this type of house. You need to eat at this type of restaurant. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, list goes endless list. But if one is fulfilled from inside, one doesn't need to do those things. You know,
and haven't all the great masters and teachers taught this throughout the ages?
Yeah. You know, Jesus Christ, Buddha, and everybody basically spoke the same truth. You know, connection with the Spirit is very important. Yeah.
You state that hope, healing, and harmony as the three things you'd like for people to take away from the book. Why is that?
Because, you know, like, as I said, you know, as a doctor and a patient, I had prostate cancer, then I had depression, and then I had addictions, and I was literally in the toilet. But with prayer, with divine intervention, and by taking charge of my life myself, I was able to overcome all these three major things. That's why I talk about this hope for everybody not to give up, you know, and one can have happiness because if one seeks the joy from within, not from outside. And harmony is to live in peace with your own natural circumstances and with the world outside. That's why I formulated 12 principles to achieve wellness at the 4 levels, and these are the 3 things which one can achieve, you know. Hope healer.
All right, we're going to go
my own story.
We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about the 12 principles that you wrote about in your book, okay?
Okay.
All right. We'll be back in a few with Dr. Raj. Hold tight.
Experience the power of being. Join author and intuitive life counselor Ron Ash on an infinite journey of enlightenment. Being explores the various modalities associated with self-help and spirituality. Master divine guidance. Connect to source energy and expand your consciousness. For a complete list of our affiliate stations and showtimes, visit beingwithronash.com.
Do you have a special gift that you'd like to share with the world? Then consider broadcasting your message on BTRN. The Being Talk Radio Network is local, national, and international broadcasting with powerful programs that enlighten minds and change lives. BTRN hosts are passionate about purpose, motivating listeners to confidently move forward in the direction of their dreams. To host a show on BTRN, call 401-640-GIFT. Become a part of the Being Talk Radio Network today and contribute to positive change tomorrow. We are BTRN, the Being Talk Radio Network.
Westside Yoga is the premier yoga center, committed to the integration of body, mind, and inner spirit. Whether you choose to participate in a single class for $10 or sign up for 2 weeks of unlimited classes for $35, Westside Yoga will help increase flexibility, alleviate stress, and improve memory and balance. Westside Yoga, 511 Broadway, Providence, Rhode Island. Visit westsideyogari.com or call 401-228-POSE. Westside Yoga, Yogana. Feel great.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. The Intuitive Life Coach takes a metaphysical approach to life coaching, identifying root issues, accessing key problems, and formulating a highly effective approach and resolution. Through proven coaching techniques, the Intuitive Life Coach will help you to move confidently in the direction of your dreams. Author, counselor, teacher Ron Ash is the Intuitive Life Coach. Call 424-777-LAWS or connect online at theintuitivelifecoach.me.
Are you interested in promoting yourself, your business, or your platform? If so, you should contact RMA Associates for the most cost-effective ways to promote what you do. RMA has over 25 years of experience helping their clients grow while meeting the challenges of an ever-changing market. Email RMA today at rma.associates@yahoo.com for more information. Again, that's rma.associates@yahoo.com.
Are you seeking guidance and clarity in your life? Internationally known psychic medium Sherry Hobson can guide you to a brighter future. Access your Akashic records revealing soul patterns that will help enable you to change your life. Or connect to your angelic guidance, spirit guides, or those who have crossed over. Schedule your private session today at 760-521-2027 or at sherryhobson.com.
Come to Sense of Healing Massage, where you'll be treated as a treasured guest, offered a quiet, peaceful space, a place of restoration, a place to rediscover health and well-being. Owner Joanne Morrissey is a licensed massage therapist who's passionate about her chosen profession and has a genuine love for healing. Her intuitive nature allows her to locate the root of the issue and to formulate a successful solution through her vast repertoire of massage therapies. Learn more or schedule your appointment at www.senseofhealing.com.
Mark Analik serves as a full channel, a perpetual conduit linking earthbound souls with those residing in spirit. Learn the significance of life lessons while revealing your life's purpose and step into your magnificence through the abilities of Mark Analik. Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern on the Being Talk Radio Network. Realize your highest truth through the assistance of Mark Analik. 954-647-0914. markanalik@gmail.com.
Get pain relief now. Dr. Amy Westrick understands what you're going through. Nothing matters more than getting out of pain. Spinal adjustments, physiotherapy, and massage therapy are all treatments available at Eastside Chiropractic Center, Incorporated. Specialized care, provider recommended, soothing results. Eastside Chiropractic Center, Incorporated, 511 Broadway, Providence, Rhode Island. Call 401-453-BACK or visit Dr. Amy Westrick online at drwestrick.com.
Looking for your next vehicle? Look to Gemini Auto Sales and Service. They have everything you need to purchase, finance, and maintain your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Gemini takes the guessing out of finding the right vehicle at the best price because all of Gemini's vehicles are priced to sell far below like vehicles within a 50-mile radius of their 2 convenient locations. Gemini's staff of ASE certified mechanics buy, sell, and service every vehicle on the lot. Quality vehicles, unsurpassed service, and guaranteed financing. Gemini Auto Sales and Service, 401-228-8686 or visit GeminiSalesService.com.
Get pain relief now. Dr. Amy Westrick understands what you're going through. Nothing matters more than getting out of pain. Spinal adjustments, physiotherapy, and massage therapy are all treatments available at Eastside Chiropractic Center, Incorporated. Specialized care, provider recommended, soothing results. Eastside Chiropractic Center, Incorporated, 511 Broadway, Providence, Rhode Island. Call 401-453-BACK or visit Dr. Amy Westrick online at drwestrick.com.
Welcome back. You are being with Ron Ash and Dr. Raj, author of The Soul of Wellness, 12 Holistic Principles for Achieving a Healthy Body, Mind, Heart, and Spirit. Welcome back, Dr. Raj.
Yeah, hi, Ron.
So, what are the 12 holistic principles you go over in your book?
Yeah, Ron, as I emphasized, the total wellness includes physical, mental, social, and spiritual. Mm-hmm. And to achieve this wellness, I have formulated these 12 principles, which starts with Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a sister branch of yoga, which is a very holistic way of healing. It's very natural, intelligence-based, living in harmony with the nature, eating the proper food, exercising well, meditating, and prayer. So that is what Ayurveda is based on, compared to a mechanistic chemical reaction model of Western science. So that's the first principle. Mm-hmm. The second principle is calm stress, because 70% of the modern day diseases can be related to stress. One can talk about migraine headaches, tension headache, addictions, high blood pressure, diabetes, strokes. These all are related to stress. So stress has to be properly managed. And I recommend 3 things for stress. One is service to others, exercise, and meditation.
Mm-hmm. And meditation is one of the most overlooked exercises that we can do. And many people say, I don't have time for meditation. But in fact, meditation creates more time, because we can use the time that we have more productively.
Exactly. One becomes more creative. One's what you call input and output, they get more efficient. Like an engine, what you put in and how much efficient the engine is. Similarly with meditation, one doesn't have to exert too much to get the same results in your other activities. And it has been proven by Harvard. Again, I went to Harvard Mind-Body Institute by Dr. Herbert Benson, and he has done extensive medical research on that, on meditation.
Now,
then I talk about,
Do you feel there is a link between the amount of citizens of the United States that are on stress medications and the types of foods that we eat here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because like even the Western father of medicine, Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Mm-hmm. And food is very important, and we neglect it. We just think, let me get a bunch of carbohydrates in my food or some fat in my body, and that's what the body needs. No. How you eat it, how the food was prepared, when you eat it, and what you eat is everything. Mm-hmm. And very good question you asked.
Do the stress hormones in animals prior to their slaughter transfer into us as humans as we ingest this meat?
We do. They're very stressed out. They do. Stress hormones. That's why ancient traditions talk about the vibrations of the food. Like what emotions are with that food. So those stress hormones do get, at a certain level and at the physical level into our food. And that is one of the reasons I advocate eating more vegetarian, but it's everybody's own choice.
So what does exercise do for us, besides give us a physique that one would desire?
Exercise actually does few things. First of all, it increases what is known as the good hormones. By proper exercise, the growth hormone, which is for rest and repair, increases, and the prolactin goes up, and the stress hormones like epinephrine, non-epinephrine, they're the stress hormones, they go down. And exercise also increases what is known as naturally occurring happy molecules like endorphins and enkephalins, which are feel-good chemicals. They're increased by exercise. And exercise is very important.
All right. So what's next?
The next is practice of gratitude. Like having attitude of gratitude in life. Yeah.
Another thing that's very neglected, we tend to concentrate on what we do not have rather than what we have. Why is that so powerful?
Because it brings peace, it brings connection to the spirit, and it gives fulfillment. And gratitude is one of the best things. Like I have a gratitude journal. Since I started writing 3 things I'm very thankful to in my life has really changed. Not what I had or what I want to have, or what I have now. Beautiful wife, nice family, nice kids, roof over my head. It has brought a lot of peace to me. So gratitude. Then practicing love and compassion. To your fellow beings, how you react to your fellow beings, and at every moment of the day. Like I gave you an example of a doctor and a patient, but it could be somebody working in a gas pump, somebody working at a counter in a Macy's store. How you react with your customers with a smile, make them feel wanted, actually make us feel good. So other principles are like now, live in now. The now has, the past is gone, the future is not here, and everything what we have is now. And other principle I have is the principle of living in harmony with your inner self and outer self, with the nature and your family. And I talk about going with the flow of the river. It's hard to swim against river, but go the way with life, river of life is going. And then I talk about finding our own dharma. Dharma is a Sanskrit word for finding our own passion. Like when we were on a break, there was somebody saying, find your own passion, and if you want to broadcast it here. So it's very important to find your own passion, a unique gift. I personally believe we are all put by the divine here on the earth to have a certain purpose and which we need to fulfill. Everybody's unique. And then I talk about the spiritual self, connecting with the divine at a deep spiritual level, like prayer, meditation. Again, meditation is both medicine and also for spiritual discipline too. And then I talk about the principle of non-attachment. But non-attachment is like, again, comes the materialistic part. Not to be attached to the materialistic things. They come and go. Even the relationships come and go. But to be beyond that. And I have learned this from my own life experiences, to practice non-attachment. Like one can have goals, but one should also enjoy the journey to the goals. The goal then becomes not that important. Like Buddha said, be the path itself.
Well, then again, that goes back to what you said about existing in the now. The past is gone, the future is not here yet. The only thing that is real is the present, this now moment, and that's where creation takes place. And when you're passionate about what you do and you're using your gifts and you're in that now moment, signs will begin to materialize. And if you're aware, you'll be able to find your next step.
Yeah, the next step will show up by,
So many forfeit the joy they can experience today for what may or may not be tomorrow, or they try to rearrange the past in some way to make it more palatable for their ego.
Yeah. Yes, Ron talking about a lot of very good words. Yeah. So these are the 12 principles, like I didn't go in a particular order, but they're basically the core of how one can achieve, physical, mental, social, and spiritual wellness. Being good to other people, like be of service.
This is the other thing.
Gratitude.
We have had the tendency to be, as you discussed earlier, what we believe other people expect of us, and often we're on the other side of that. We fall into a place of unacceptance of others for who they are.
Yeah. 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 That's so true. We're always trying to not live our life for ourselves, but trying to live for our friends. Like my building a big house which I could not afford was what people were expecting me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I became a slave to my house.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then always my attitude in life was, and a lot of people have this attitude for everything they do. What is there for me? What is there for me? Me.
Yeah.
And when they moved beyond the mentality of me, went to we, wellness starts with V, W-E. That's when the joy starts flowing. Unconditional, pure bliss, joy starts flowing then when you go beyond me.
You say in your book,
yeah.
Our thoughts can be our most powerful ally or our worst enemy. They can lift us on wings of freedom or act as a ball and chain, causing us to shuffle through our days. Why does the power of thought have so much influence in our lives?
Because thought is one thing which we can control to some extent, and every action, every habit which we perform, or addictions, for example, bad habits we develop, was a thought one time. And if we can control at the level of the most subtle level, then it can bring a lot of change in the gross level. For example, if the ship was to be changed at only 1 degree, and after thousands of miles, that 1 degree shift has caused a shift of 1,000 miles in the direction the ship was going. Similarly, if we can cause a shift at the level of the thought itself, then that will be a very profound shift overall. And that's why I talk about the thoughts. That's why positive thinking is very, very important.
And it's more about positive feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, feeling. Yeah, emotions and the feeling, exactly. Not just the thoughts, but the feeling. Because thoughts only get power if they are felt, whether they are positive or if they are negative.
So you mentioned Dharma, passion and purpose. I know how I first came to discover my gift, the realization of my passion for teaching. It kind of started with a vision. I had a commercial building that was a couple of 1,000 square feet smaller than your home, you mentioned. It was about 9,000 square feet, I believe. And, I had a tenant move out. I was walking down the stairs from the second floor, and I looked into that unit, and I saw classrooms. And I didn't exactly know what that meant, but I kind of put it out there on Craigslist and wrote up a little paragraph and explained exactly that. I'm seeing this vision. I don't know what it means. And I began to receive one email after another, and this was before I was aware of the holistic and wellness community. And, I've always been spiritual to a degree. I've always understood that there was something else working out there. But I began to attract these people in my life that would facilitate my starting a group and hosting other groups. And one of the first groups that I hosted was the Law of Attraction meetup. And that expanded into another meetup, which was a metaphysical meetup that I found myself teaching and not really knowing anything about law of attraction or metaphysics, having written my first manuscript and handed it to the woman that first came to me from Craigslist about hosting her workshop there. And she gave it back to me and she said, "Ron, this is all metaphysics, law of attraction." I said, "What's that?" So to make a long story short, we began to facilitate these groups. We set up circles, and discussions would come from different topics that we brought up, and this is where hours seemed like minutes. I could do it all day long. Afterwards, I had a high that I just couldn't come down from. It wasn't like when I had retail stores and I had to open another one, and eventually I developed a chain. But I would have to keep opening stores to get that euphoric feeling. And then I went to real estate and began to buy properties and fix them up and rent them out. And then I would crash from the exuberation of going through the process. Once I discovered this dharma, as you say, passion and purpose, there was no bringing me down. I never crashed.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a very old saying, if you love your work, you don't have to work a single day.
Yeah.
So it becomes a part of your life, you live for it.
Any advice for people who are saying, well, that's all well and good, but I have no idea what my special gift is?
Like one of the things I recommend in my book is, like go back to your childhood of what you wanted to be. And like I'm a doctor, but I was not necessarily wanted to be a doctor. Like my father said, be a doctor, and in Indian culture, I became a doctor. I'm happy I am, but passion was always to speak and write, which I'm fulfilling now, my dharma to speak and write. And other thing is, question I ask myself or to other people is, if God gave you all the money you wanted, and God said, be what you want to be, what would you like to be? And for me, the inner voice says, meditate, think about it, and go to the nature, or walk by the beach or in the forest, and the inner voice will talk to you. And the inner voice for me, for example, says, my dharma now is to be speaker, author, and a healer at the level of the soul. And being a doctor and a physiologist is past for me now. It was my dharma at one time, but now my dharma is to be healer. That's how I found my dharma.
So
because it makes me feel good.
Yeah. So it can change, and it often does change.
Yeah, or like my inner dharma was there, but I was practicing the outside worldly things, which were not my really true purpose. But the circumstances were like that. I was put in that circumstances that I was functioning. But like for me now, my dharma is to help people heal at the level of the soul.
So you talk about, and it's great advice. Go back to your childhood and what you wanted to be, what you really loved to do. Did you stay up all night drawing pictures and somebody told you that's great, that looks wonderful, that's a fantastic hobby, but what are you going to do for a living?
Yeah.
Maybe you wrote beautiful songs and you were a fantastic musician, but somebody said, once again, maybe a parent, maybe a teacher, that's fantastic, but what are you going to go to college and study?
Yeah.
How do we eject these imposed limits? And some self-imposed. Some we just don't believe that we can make a living out of what we're passionate about.
What? That's what I'm saying. One has to match it with reality. Like if somebody's really passionate about music, but his daily job is being an accountant, right? And they have to put food on the table, put kids through college. Let's be practical. But one can join a meetup or a music group, take evening classes, or perform for the charitable places, and slowly your dharma will start manifesting, and it will start giving joy. It doesn't have to be all or none.
Yeah, we have to start someplace. When I first started doing radio on a regular basis, I had done some many years ago, but it was actually August 3rd, 2010. I found myself contacted by a woman who was doing radio and said, have you ever thought about doing radio? And I said, no, not really. And she said, well, we could do this. And I started on AM 1510 Revolution in Boston, and really didn't know what the show was going to be about exactly. Had just written a book called Being, and showed up. It's a lot about showing up, too. And we have to start someplace. And so many people neglect taking that first step. They want the big prize, but they don't understand there are small steps that we have to take. And we have to say, okay, I'm in. Let's do this. Action is always required. I mean, you can, affirm and visualize and attempt to manifest until you're blue in the face, but if you're not willing to take that action, you're not going to be able to get started in that. And when I did the first show, I was like, wow, what an incredible venue for teaching. I was coming out of maybe, 16 to 20 people on a Thursday night to being able to broadcast out to a potential audience of 1 million people.
Yeah, and how did it make you feel at your heart level, if I may ask? Do you feel joy, bliss?
I felt joy and bliss. I could hardly sleep when I came home after the first night. So much so that I looked into internet radio and I began to do 1 or 2 shows a day, every day. Yeah. Just because I knew that if I wanted to do this, I would have to become more comfortable with it. I would have to increase my skills and abilities revolving around doing this. So I took the step again.
Yeah, I have a doctor. I yesterday only went to his restaurant. He's a doctor, a very successful pulmonologist, but now he opened a Thai restaurant because it was always his passion to have his own restaurant. Mm-hmm. And now he opened it and he is working. He doesn't need to have the restaurant, but he's working so hard. The food is so good with so much love he makes it. I enjoy going to that place. And he's fulfilling his dharma both as a doctor and his inner passion of being a cook. So we all can find small ways of fulfilling a dharma. Mm-hmm. And then let it grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've spoken to my daughter about a couple of things that she would like to do. And, I explained to her, well, in order to get started in that, you really have to, X, Y, and Z, and then things will build up. Oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to do, the final thing. Well, that's your choice.
No.
That's your choice. All right,
like
we're going to
talk about law of attraction. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to take another quick break, and we'll be back with more. Dr. Raj, hold that thought, Dr. Raj. We'll be right back after
we sure. Thank you. Bye.
Capture the essence of the moment. Discover the possibilities for your future. The Tarot Life Coach uses an ancient form of counseling known as the Tarot to help you find the answers to life's many questions from an intuitive, spiritual perspective. Join psychic medium Tanya Melendez for the Tarot Life Coach, Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Being Talk Radio Network. Romance, career, finance. Find the answers at www.tarotlifecoach.com.
Are you interested in promoting yourself, your business, or your platform? If so, you should contact RMA Associates for the most cost-effective ways to promote what you do. RMA has over 25 years of experience helping their clients grow while meeting the challenges of an ever-changing market. Email RMA today at rma.associates@yahoo.com for more information. Again, that's rma.associates@yahoo.com.
Westside Yoga is the premier yoga center, committed to the integration of body, mind, and inner spirit. Whether you choose to participate in a single class for $10 or sign up for 2 weeks of unlimited classes for $35, Westside Yoga will help increase flexibility, alleviate stress, and improve memory and balance. Westside Yoga, 511 Broadway, Providence, Rhode Island. Visit westsideyogari.com or call 401-228-POSE. Westside Yoga, Yogana. Feel great.
Rhode Island Natural Awakenings magazine is the perfect resource for those seeking a healthy, natural lifestyle. In every free monthly publication, you'll find practical, cutting-edge information on natural health, nutrition, personal growth, green living, creative expression, and more. Find Natural Awakenings wherever free magazines are found. Read it online at rinaturalawakenings.com or call 401-709-2473. Feel good, live simply, laugh more. Rhode Island Natural Awakenings magazine.
Bridge the gap between Earth and the spiritual plane of existence. Join author and psychic medium Joseph Labruto III on a multi-dimensional journey of transformation every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Being with Ron Ash. Communicate with a deceased loved one, the Ascended Masters, spirit guides, angels, and other spiritual beings, or ask Joseph about your career, relationship, or life path. There is more to life than what we know.
Find the answers at www.psychicmediumjoseph.com.
Benchmark Properties says, why pay your landlord's mortgage? Interest rates are low. Now's the time to buy. Benchmark Properties has the answers you've been looking for and knows the best way to sell in today's market. Whether you want to buy, sell, or explore alternatives to foreclosure, the Benchmark team of qualified professionals can help. Call 401-861-2777 for a free consultation and market analysis on your property. Visit Benchmark Properties online at benchmark-sells.com.
Do you have a special gift that you'd like to share with the world? Then consider broadcasting your message on BTRN. The Bean Talk Radio Network is local, national, and international broadcasting with powerful programs that enlighten minds and change lives. BTRN hosts are passionate about purpose, motivating listeners to confidently move forward in the direction of their dreams. To host a show on BTRN, call 401-640-GIFT. Become a part of the Bean Talk Radio Network today and contribute to positive change tomorrow. We are BTRN, the Bean Talk Radio Network.
Experience the power of being. Join author and intuitive life counselor Ron Ash on an infinite journey of enlightenment. Being explores the various modalities associated with self-help and spirituality. Master divine guidance, connect to source energy, and expand your consciousness. For a complete list of our affiliate stations and showtimes, visit beingwithronash.com.
Welcome back. You are being with Ron Ash and Dr. Raj, and we are talking about his new book, The Soul of Wellness. And we were just getting into Dharma and finding our gifts and our passion. And Dr. Raj, you were just about to say something before we went to break. Do you recall what that was?
Oh, I was just saying, like you talked about law of attraction, and law of attraction also finds its roots or foundation on make your thoughts your powerful ally. Thoughts is what starts the law of attraction rolling. And as you mentioned, emotions and action are equally important. It's not just visualization.
Mm-hmm. And we have to remain present, because when we are present, we can be aware and we can take the necessary steps and take advantage of the opportunities which are often presented to us. And they are often presented to us in forms that we may otherwise not have thought of.
Yeah. I would like to quote Abraham Lincoln. I think he said this: what is luck? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah. When preparation meets opportunity. Very true. And often Spirit will not put that opportunity in front of us until we are ready for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's how it's manifesting in my life, to be a healer, and I'm loving it. Yeah.
Let's talk about if I'm saying it properly, seva, the Sanskrit word that is similar to the meaning of altruism.
Yeah, seva is a word which, as I mentioned, is like to be of service, to be of helpful, without anything in return, without any expecting anything, and just have an attitude of gratitude that the other person is actually giving you the opportunity to serve them. And this is non-judgmental. And it should be not just volunteering for 2 hours at a hospital or something, but the whole day, whole attitude should be like that. Like giving an example of a doctor, we started to talk about with the patients. They have done studies. If the doctor spent 15 minutes, and one kind of doctor was standing and was just writing the prescription, but still spent 15 minutes, and another doctor sat down, touched the hand of the patient, put a hand on the shoulder, and was gentle, and only spent 15 minutes still, the patients felt much better with the second doctor and healed much faster, because he had an attitude of service, attitude of gratitude. Time spent was the same.
Yeah, very powerful. I often practice this throughout my day, and I'll say something to make someone smile throughout my day, no matter what the situation. maybe.
Yeah.
And it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
You know, for whatever you put out there, it comes back, it builds you up, and it just keeps growing like that.
Yeah, the universe does that. You know, the law of increases. Whatever you put out comes back, you know. And like what I do is I practice sometimes what I call random act of kindness, a random act of bringing joy to making somebody's day. Like so many times I'll buy a coffee with the person behind me in the driveway, or it brings me joy, you know.
Yeah.
Or helps elderly lady cross the road. Go just an extra mile to help somebody.
You know, and we do these things, and many times we forget about them. I remember being at a conference. There was a coffee table there, and I had I don't know, $5 in my pocket, and I said, you know something, give me the coffee. It was only $1, and I says, buy coffee for the next 4 people that come in line, or whatnot. Not really, kind of let it go. Didn't really think about it. Just something that I did. Probably about a couple of months later, I was back at that same venue, and went to get the coffee, and I was like, oh, I didn't have any money in my pocket. I left my wallet at home.
Wow.
And I went to the counter, and the gentleman at the table said, would you like a coffee? And I was like, oh yeah, I did. I forgot my wallet. Oh, don't worry about it. The last guy that came, he bought coffee for the next 5 or 6 people.
Wow. And see how it came around? See, in a way, it is law of karma, yeah.
Yeah, if only we can all get on the same page and leave behind those old ideas of quid pro quo, and just do it from our heart, because simply that is what uplifts us, that is what builds us, that is what gives us our strength.
Yeah,
so quickly the world could change.
Oh yeah, that's why I talk about seva attitude with the doctors. If the politicians really had that attitude, can you believe it? How the world will change?
Yeah.
It's unimaginable.
Yeah.
Right now there's, what's going on in elections,
Oh, I can't wait until the election is over, simply so I do not have to watch these negative commercials any longer.
Negative, so negative,
Yeah.
And everybody says, I'm not going to be negative.
Yeah. But they fall back into that trap.
Seva, like you are doing seva, I can do seva as a doctor, somebody can do seva as a counter person.
Mm-hmm.
Smile, just a smile doesn't cost much,
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
And they say it takes less energy to smile than it does to frown, so why exert energy, any other way? All right, Dr. Raj, the book is The Soul of Wellness. You can visit Dr. Raj's website at drraj.com, and you can pick up his book everywhere great books are sold. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Raj.
It was my pleasure. It was very good talking to you, Ron. It was really good.
And as always, you can learn about all of our guests, including Dr. Raj, at beingwithronash.com. That's beingwithronash.com. We'll see you all on the radio real soon. Be peace, everyone, because peace becomes you.
Experience the power of being. Join author and intuitive life counselor Ron Ash on an infinite journey of enlightenment. Being explores the various modalities associated with self-help and spirituality. Master divine guidance. Connect to source energy and expand your consciousness. For a complete list of our affiliate stations and showtimes, visit beingwithronash.com.